traders from around the world, what's going on? It's me, Ricky Cadden, back again with another real life stock review from Real Life Trading Australia. Wow, 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 what a week we have had. You guys remember last week I did send out a stock review and I did talk about this reversal that was potentially going to happen. On the SPY, I did mention we're going to trade up, find resistance, and then come back down. I actually did draw a box for you on the E-minis, which we'll get to in just a moment. But just so you guys can see here, the next major key level of support here is around 422. So we could definitely come down that little bit more. We've definitely been picking up some steam on this as well. So a lot of volume coming in as we are starting to sell off and we are going lower. Here's the E-minis. Now, I did draw this box, have not moved it since. You guys can go back and watch that video if you like. I mentioned that we were going to trade up a little bit higher and then find rejection and then head back down. Now, you guys can see here we have still got the increasing volume. We're creating new lows. We are slowly but surely coming down to this 4231 level, which we should probably try to bounce. But below that, guys, I do expect us to come down to about the 200 simple moving average on a daily chart. If you take a look at the weekly chart, I mean, this weekly candlestick, guys, is bearish. It's not the slightest bit bullish. We have actually taken out the low of the previous week's hammer candle, which is quite bearish, as there was a lot of volume on that candle as well. So I do expect us to pull back a little bit further. If you take a look at the shorter term moving averages, we could realistically come all the way back down to at least the 50-day EMA, which on the daily chart is on the on the longer term moving average, just below the 200 simple moving average. This would be a phenomenal buy the dip location, in my opinion. Also, if you take a look at from the highs back down to the 200 or even this particular level is about a 10% pullback in the markets. So we have not had a 10% pullback in the markets in the last year. Ever since back in September of last year, we had a nice little 10% pullback. Usually we have a couple each year. This is our very first one, so I do anticipate a little bit more of a bearish move. So make sure you guys have been taking your profits or protecting your assets on the downside. Here is Square. Now, Square, we did have a short trade on this with an entry below here and a stop up here. We ended up getting hitting our target on this bearish gap down. We could have made a little bit more on this one, but we did capitalize about 1.4 Rs on this particular trade. Gorgeous little short play for all the real life traders out there. We still do have a put sale for November. That is a very low put sale to acquire some shares on Square, but as you guys can see, we are still down below the 200 simple moving average, so I do actually expect us to either trade lower, trade sideways, and kind of distribute for a little bit longer on Square. Here's Google, ticker symbol GOOGL. Now, Google did create this, or did form this gorgeous little triple top, right? We had the breakdown, we had the retest of the neckline, and then we had a gap and go with Tumble City. So this one, guys, if you are watching Google, we really do normally start to bounce off the 50-day EMA. Usually, however, this time we have closed below the 50 EMA. You can see previously we have been bouncing off absolutely stunningly. So many beautiful bounces. But now that we have closed below the 50-day EMA, we have been creating some lower highs and some lower lows. I do expect a very short-term trade up and then a little bit more of a pullback. Longer-term moving averages, guys, we could potentially bounce off the 100 simple moving average, which is not very far away at all. This would be the first target, and then, of course, the second target would be down at the 200 simple moving average. If you take a look at the weekly trend, I mean, this thing is just scorching higher. We did really rally after COVID happened. Lot of bullishness. So I dare say there's a lot of people taking profits off the table, and we could really see a nice little pullback from this last wave higher that we had. Yeah, I mean, a 50% retracement of this would bring us back down to around 2167 and possibly even 2346. So these are pretty decent levels. If you take a look on the daily chart, 2346 is about the 200 simple moving average, but a real decent buy would be just below here. So keep that in mind, guys. There is a little bit of bearishness out in the markets. I wouldn't be long or wouldn't be diving into the markets to get into any long-term long positions just yet. Let the market pull back and then reevaluate your long positions. Here's Walmart. Now Walmart's also creating this beautiful little double top, super long. It's not a, technically it's not an actual double top. Just what I mean here are these two tops here. But we have closed below the 200 simple moving average on a daily chart. On a weekly chart, we do look like we are going to head back down to the 100 simple moving average. That would be a nice buy the dip location. If we can get back down to here, this is of course where I would be looking at going long. We have just been bouncing off the 100 for many, many years, roughly around this particular price level. So are we going to do it again? Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see. Once we get there, we'll revisit Walmart. But very nice bearish trend. Look to either short the rip if we do get a nice little retest. But definitely don't look to buy the dip anytime soon. Here's the ASX 200, the Aussie 200, also looking quite bearish out there as well. We did try to bounce and create a nice little double bottom, got rejected at the 100 simple moving average, and slowly tumbling lower. I do expect us to probably close down below the 200 simple moving average if we do keep on traveling bearish tonight in the States as well. But definitely looking to go a little bit lower. It is pushing a lot of stocks down, like the Commonwealth Bank. We did get a phenomenal gap and go on CBA today. Beautiful bullish candle with bullish volume and gapping down with a nice little retest and rollover. If you take a look at the 5-minute here, it was so fast. It really just happened. The retest happened on the very first 5-minute candle. Then we got this inside day bearish harami candle. Entry here, stop below, entry below, stop above that candle, and then there would have been a nice little 3R gain or 2.5R gain on CVA if you would have taken that one bearish. But all in all, guys, the market is still looking a little bit weak. Nice little 4% down day for CBA. We could definitely come back down to a nice key level of support around about 97. That would be the first level of buying location. Then next would be the 200 simple moving average. Here's Coles. Now Coles is also rejecting the longer term moving averages. Still in a bearish trend. We did have a gap down today as well on Coles. We did, however, get bought back up, resisted a previous level of resistance. And on the weekly chart, however, look at this hammer candle. I mean, this is a beautiful bullish candle, in my opinion. Although it is black, it is still a hammer candle. So what I do expect, guys, is I do expect there to be a little bit of a trade sideways action, possibly even a lower low, and then a nice little double bottom and bounce on out of here. Something like this, like we had last time. It could take some time, but definitely keep Coles on your watch list for a longer term bullish play on that one. Here's Pilbara Minerals Limited, ticker symbol PLS. Now this one, guys, I've mentioned in the past that this you want to be looking to get out of. You want to be looking to take your profits. I think it was somewhere around about here or here or here. Somewhere I was mentioning now's the time to take your profits and run, basically. If you take a look at the weekly chart, we have now closed below this previous low. We are now breaking support. Next support level, team, you guys guessed it, is not until 111. So very, very, very low. Almost a whole dollar away. So I do expect us to have a little bit more of a pullback. Yes, we could potentially bounce off the 100 simple moving average, but long term, guys, take a look at this run up that we have just had, right? We don't normally have a big run up like this without a big pullback. And if I just kind of run the fibs on this last run up that we've had since COVID, you guys can see here a nice little 50% retracement would bring us all the way down to around 132, and the 618 retracement, which would be a very, very good key level of support and resistance to look at. This would be the key level to probably look at buying the dip on PLS in the not in the distant future, this would be. So keep an eye on PLS, guys. It is going to go lower, at least to the 100 simple moving average. Below that, we could definitely see some blood in the streets on PLS. Here's crude oil. Now, crude oil, I mentioned, was going higher, and that we would come back down and retest this little buy zone. As you can see here, we retested and we're consolidating sideways. I still do think we could consolidate for a little bit longer, but guys, realistically, I'm just bullish on crude. Look to buy the dip. If you are trading futures, price action is phenomenal. Look at this bullish volume that has come in on that high wave candle. My goodness. Here's gold. Now, gold is not looking overly bullish. Yes, we did try and find support here. That is, that's pretty standard. Come back down to a support level. Look to buy the dip. A lot of people buying the dip down here, yet we are still creating lower highs and lower lows. So at this point, guys, it's still in a bearish trend. So if we do get down lower, it's probably going to be around 1672. That would be a phenomenal dip buying location. Weekly chart, we are below the 100 simple moving average on a weekly chart, so just keep that in mind, team. And last but not least is the Aussie dollar. Now, the Aussie dollar on the weekly chart, you can see here at the 100 and 200 simple moving average. On the daily chart, you can see we have just been slowly but grinding lower, slowly but surely grinding lower. All right, guys. I'll be back next week. Have a fantastic weekend. If you have any stock tickers you would like me to review, leave it in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. And if you would like to join our free Facebook group, links are in the description below. You're amazing. And until next time, love life, live life, and trade it. You guys rock. Bye.